Hey there, I'm Mr. Business Plan. Every day I crunch numbers and build presentations to explore potential investments across the globe. And this is you. You're not really feeling all that well. Tomorrow is your first day of work at an international finance company. You're not really certain how you ended up getting this job. You're not really qualified for it. But the pay? The pay is really good. And you really like money. It occupies your mind frequently. You watched those finance movies a while ago. You know what to expect. But what if there is a distant possibility that those movies don't reflect the reality of the business world? You begin to panic. But no need to worry, actually. You knew someone very closely connected to the world of finance. Me, Mr. Business Plan. You come to my office, your face pale as usual. To my shock, you tell me you got a job. You ask what I should know before starting. Do you know Excel? No? Do you know how to build a PowerPoint presentation? No? Oh, well, how did you even get this job? Well, never mind. These are things you learn at your job anyway. You don't need to worry about this. But today I want to share with you something that you probably won't be learning at the office. There's one thing you need to understand, my friend. Business executives and managers tend to be educated and knowledgeable on finance, marketing, on operations management. Professionals are rarely taught how to tackle ethical or social problems, however. You need to learn it on the spot if you don't have education prior. And I want to talk to you about that today, because ethics is a very important part of finance. Let's talk about what ethics is overall. Ethics, as a science, is a reflection on the morals and standards one person must adhere to. The first and minimum thing a person must do is be consistent in ethical judgment. You yourself should ponder occasionally on your own ethical decision-making. Descriptive ethics studies how people behave and what standards they claim to follow. Each individual carries their own set of rights and wrongs. While one may think an action is incorrect or immoral, the other might think otherwise. So consider a scenario where you see a kid stealing an apple from an apple stall. The kid looked really hungry. Would you interfere in any way? This is a matter of one's own assessment of rights and wrongs. Prescriptive ethics, on the other hand, are ethical standards that are provided through external sources. These include one's profession, laws, or ethical theories. It's a guideline on how people should be acting. Ethical universalism is the belief that universal principles should apply to all human beings, while ethical relativism, on the other hand, suggests cultural differences on handling the same situations should be tolerated. Now, one part of prescriptive ethics is business ethics. The primary principle applied in business ethics is non-maleficence. So you do not harm your customers financially, medically, or in any other way. Self-interest is an important part of business ethics. Your actions should maximize a company's profits and shareholders' values without crossing the boundaries of local laws. There are clear winners and losers in each market. You are not required to treat your customers with respect, although you may benefit from doing so. Customers are responsible for themselves as long as you do not harm them directly. For example, snack foods are unhealthy if consumed regularly and in high volumes. Business ethics argue that it is the customer's responsibility to consume with moderation. When you apply these loose practices to sectors that usually must have some degree of social responsibility, so this includes education and health, then you start having some trouble. Now, let's finally get to the main character of business ethics. Homo economist, the economic man. The economic man is the concept of a man used to help define how people act when following business ethics. The economic man cares only about himself, not the goodwill of others. However, this does not mean he is a poor team worker. The economic man may find personal satisfaction or may receive greater social and economic standing by helping others. So taking all of this into consideration, the economic man isn't necessarily a monster. He does not carry the feeling of envy or receive satisfaction from the suffering of others. He doesn't care about politics, cultures, or local values, or of the society that he is living in. Well, unless he has a personal preference or really needs to be interested in them to maximize corporate efficiency. His rational approach to all decisions makes him very unlikable, but he is very predictable. So let's run an example. Think of a game of economics. There are two players. Player 1 will make an offer on how a prize pool of $100 will be split. Player 2 has the option to accept the offer, which will result in both receiving the payout. Alternatively, Player 2 can reject the offer, which means none of them will receive any payment. This is a standard experiment in behavioral economics. During my time in university, I would take part in these experiments, and this was one of the cases that I had encountered. In my case, I was player 2, and I received an offer to split the $100 from 70 to 30. So I would receive $30 and the other would receive $70. And I accepted this offer. So I exited the experiment with $30 while the player number 1 received $70. I was annoyed because we didn't split it even. Getting $30 was better than me getting nothing. Now, if the economic man is player 2, then he will accept any offer above $0, as it will result in greater economic benefit to him. He will not carry emotional frustration for receiving less and will refuse anything that seems irrational. If we put him in the position of player 1, he will recognize that the other player will likely reject an offer they perceive as unfair. Not everyone has to be rational like Homo economist. As such, he will likely split the $100 pool fairly. If the economic man was player 1 and player 2 didn't receive the option of accepting or rejecting, then he would always ask to get a $100 pool for himself, giving $0 to player number 2. Now imagine a perfect market consisting of people carrying the same set of moral codes. If all economic men carry the same obligation to maximize shareholder profits, then you have the efficient market. Innovation and entrepreneurship are incredibly lucrative. Corporations and individuals strive to be innovative leaders. Profitable businesses create jobs, increases standards of living to their employees and owners, and they pay taxes. These taxes are then used to support government's social actions, bettering all members of its population. Now this is the perfect world, where everything is functioning as it would be in a perfect market. Well, this isn't the world we're living in. Now, at what point does the economic man draw the line of what they can do for profit? Is it the legality of their actions? Then are you allowed to pay less taxes through accounting magic? Can you mislead customers without breaking the law? Laws aren't perfect. There are countless loopholes. And what if the laws themselves are unreasonable? Should corporations be forced to act in legal boundaries if it means their business will be going bust? What if child labor is legal in a country? Does that make it ethical? No, it doesn't. So let's look at this Venn diagram. Businesses should try their best to make legally sound, financially feasible, and ethically acceptable decisions at all times. If a decision is ethical and profitable but illegal, careful consideration must be put. What are the consequences of your actions? If a decision is legal and profitable but unethical, decisions must be made cautiously. If a decision is ethical and legal, then businesses must work on finding ways to make it profitable. This diagram can serve as a foundation for the development of a corporate social responsibility system for a company. CSR allows firms to be responsible for their own actions to their shareholders and the general public. And all things I have just gone through with you are the basics of business ethics. There are many resources online and research papers that you can read about it. It's important to understand the responsibilities you have to the people you work with, to the environment, and to all of your stakeholders. This is a burden managers must carry. Be not a slave to money. Keep your humanity. Movies about finance are exactly how the world of finance is, and you're asleep. I wonder why I even bother trying. You know what? You're a good kid. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Thank you for sticking around for my video on ethics. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.